Hi everybody, welcome back to another chemistry video. Today we'll be going over scientific notation and metric system. I hope you enjoy this video. So, what is scientific notation? Scientific notation is the shortened version of very large or small numbers. They usually eliminate a lot of zeros. So let's look at this example. So it says 5,878,600,000,000. So step 1 says change the number to a decimal between 1 and 10. So in the example here, it will become 5.878600000000. Then step 2 says, because the decimal was moved to the left 12 times, multiply the new number by 10 to the power of 12. So the 5.8786000000 will become 5.8786 times 10 to the 12th power. These steps can also be applied when working with small numbers. So let's say you have a number less than 1. Like in the example, it says 0.00000055. We would change it to 5.5 since it's a number between 1 to 10, and then we'll multiply by 10 to the negative 7 since we're moving the decimal point to the right. So, let's look at another example. Let's say we have the number 462 million. How can we convert this in scientific notation? Well, we will have to follow the steps that we talked about earlier. So since this is a big number, we must move the decimal point to the left. Now how many places do we have to move the decimal place over? Looking at the number 462 million to get a number between 1 and 10. We must move the decimal place over 8 times. So let's say the decimal point is here. We have to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that will get us 4.62 times 10 to the 8. Let's look at one more example. Let's say we have the number 0.00005. How do we convert this in scientific notation? Well, since this is a small number, we're going to be moving the decimal point to the right side. Now, how many places do you think we have to move the decimal place over? Well, we can count. Since the decimal is here and we need a number between 1 to 10, we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know we have to move the decimal place over 5 times. So the answer will be 5 times 10 to the negative 5 since we're moving to the right. So every time we're moving to the right, we add a negative in front of the exponent. Every time we're moving to the left, the exponent will be positive. Now let's talk about the metric system. So anytime we're converting units in the metric system, I'd like to use the phrase King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Now, there are obviously other abbreviations you can use to memorize the metric system ladder, but that's the phrase I'd like to use. So now, what does the sentence mean? It represents the first letter of every single unit you should memorize on the metric system ladder. So the king represents kilograms, Henry represents hectograms, the died represents decagrams, by represents basic units, drinking represents decimeters, chocolate represents centimeters, and milk represents millimeters. Now, when we're moving down the metric system ladder, we move the decimal point to the right, and when we're moving up the metric system ladder, we move the decimal point to the left. So let's look at some examples. Let's say you have 3.5 meters and you want to convert this into centimeters. How would we do that? Well, since we're going down the metric system ladder, we will move the decimal point to the right. Now, how many times do you think we should move the decimal point to the right? Well, since basic units is right here and centimeters is right here, you could move it 1 place, 2 place. So you'll move it 2 places to the right. So that would be 3.5. Now let's count. 1, 2. And for the empty spaces, we just fill it in with zeros. So it could be 3.5 meters is equivalent to 3,500 centimeters. Let's say we have 4,500 grams and we want to convert this into kilograms. How do you think we could solve this one? Well, since grams is in basic units and kilograms is up here, we're moving up the metric system ladder. So the decimal point will be moved to the left. Now, how many places do you think we have to move the decimal point to the left? Well, we can just count. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. So we're moving it 3 places to the left. Now we could write 4,500. And since the decimal point is here, we'll just move it to the left 3 times. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. So 4,500 grams is equivalent to 4.5 kilograms.